This scientific study of the different levels of organization of living beings help us gain an insight into the complexities of their structure and functioning. Every organism on Earth, from the smallest to the largest one, follows this establishment. This topic is of great importance in the field of environmental science, as it helps in establishing the significance of every living being on this planet. Environmentalists devise ways to preserve the ecosystem through knowledge of these levels of organization. A concept of emergent properties states that, with rising levels of complexity in living things, new patterns will emerge. The life that exists on Earth is complex and varied in its forms. Living beings have evolved from single-celled or unicellular forms into complex and giant multicellular bodies. In this process of development, their body system and mechanisms have become specialized in nature. Thus, in the course of evolution, different stages of increasing complexity were formed. Atom. It is the most basic and fundamental unit of matter. An atom performs metabolic functions like converting food into nutrients and energy. It is the smallest living entity that can function on its own. Examples are nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen. Molecule. The formation of chemical bonds between two or more atoms leads to a formation of molecule. It is one of the most fundamental and stable components of matter. Chemical compounds exist as molecules. Examples are water and table salt. Organelle. It is the subunit of a cell and consists of a group of functioning biomolecules. Organelles take part in the chemical reaction and interaction in the cellular process of an organism. Organelles in eukaryotic cells are different from those in prokaryotic ones. A few examples include nucleus and chloroplasts, plant cells, and Golgi bodies, mitochondria, for animal cells. Cell. It is considered as a basic unit and building block of life. It is bound by a cell membrane and possesses a nucleus which acts as its brain. Prokaryotic cells have a smaller size and simpler form and lack a nucleus. Eukaryotic cells are more specialized in structure than prokaryotic ones. Moreover, they are larger in size. Tissue. This level is a combination of different types of cells which perform specialized functions. The group of cells that form a tissue need not be identical, but they should have the same origin. Different types are the nervous, muscle, connective, and epithelial tissues. Organ. It performs certain functions with the help of different tissues. The major organs of animals include lungs, brain, and liver. Organ system. Organs working together to form certain functions form organ systems. Examples are the circulatory system in animals and the vascular system in plants. Organism. An organism could either be unicellular or multicellular. The ones that are closely related can be grouped together under a single gene. An organism can be defined as the fully functional form of a living being that can thrive in a particular environment.
A population is all the organisms of the same group or species which live in a particular geographical area and have the capability of interbreeding. The area that is used to define a sexual population is defined as the area where interbreeding is potentially possible between any pair within the area. As of today, the totality of the world's population is about 7.6 billion. A community, or also called as the biological community in biology, is an interacting group of various species in a common location. For example, a forest of trees and undergrowth plants inhabited by animals and rooted in soils containing bacteria and fungi constituents a biological community. In a community or biosynosis, symbiotic relationship between biotic factors in the community are evident. An example of symbiotic relationship in the community is competition. It is the struggle of individuals to obtain a shared limiting resources. An example of these is a male zebra who fight to defend their territory and ensure breeding privileges. Predation is a biological interaction where a predator kills and eats its prey or another organism. An example of these are wolves who hunt for moose, owls who hunt for mice, or shrews hunting for worms and insects. Parasitism is a relationship between species where one organism, the parasite, lives on or in another organism, the host, causing it some harm and is adapted structurally to this way of life. An example of these are tapeworms attached to the insides of the intestines of an animal or human. Herbivory is the consumption of plant material by animals. A great example of these are herbivorous feeding habits of zebras, goats, and horses. Mutualism is an interspecific cooperation in such way that two organisms of different species exist in a relationship in which each individual benefits from the activity of the other. A great example of mutualism is the mutualistic relationship between oxpecker and rhino. Commensalism is an association between two organisms in which one benefits and the other derives neither benefit nor harm. An example of these are the remora fish and sharks. An ecosystem is a community made up of living organisms and non-living components such as air, water, and mineral soil. The living or biotic and non-living abiotic components interact through nutrient cycle and energy flow, which includes the interaction among organisms and their environment. Ecosystems have different kinds. Some of these are the grassland ecosystem, desert ecosystem, tundra ecosystem, freshwater, and marine ecosystem. Biome are community of plants and animals that have common characteristics for the environment they exist in. They are distinct biological communities that had formed in response to a shared physical climate. Examples of biomes are tundra, taiga, temperate deciduous forest, scrub forest in California, grassland, desert, tropical and temperate rain forest. Biosphere is the global ecological system integrating all living beings and their relationships, including their interactions with the elements of the lithosphere, geosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere.
A concept of emergent properties states that, with rising levels of complexity in living things, new patterns will emerge.